Today we're hosting the Be Better podcast, and it's an initiative of the University of the Free State Organisational Development and Employee Wellbeing Division. Here you'll find inspiration to be better at your job, with others, but most importantly, to be better with yourself. You'll hear new things, old things, and hopefully experience that moment of clarity that you've been waiting for. So, listen on, but most importantly, thank you for joining us. I'm Yolanda Martins, and today with me is a unicorn, but not really a unicorn. Carlos Santana comes to mind as well, and I think I have an inside to this story. But Carina Bruwer joins us today. Carina, welcome to this Be Better podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here in Bloem and just to be in the space with you.
We just finished this incredible Women's Day event, and the energy was high. You touched on some amazing points that kind of wove your story into trials and successes. It's a wonderful way that you presented your story. And I love that they say you're a unicorn because everything about it was so unexpected. Perhaps you can tell me, first of all, why you are here today. What made you agree to come and do this?
Well, I've had a long journey with very many different stops in my life, starting as a musician, somehow becoming a marathon swimmer and entrepreneur. And my latest venture, I suppose, is going into the motivational speaking circuit. I'd been asked for the past couple of decades to come speak to events and come speak to people, and especially ladies. And I was always very hesitant because I didn't really believe that my story was of any interest. But the past couple of years, I've really gone through some very challenging journeys. And I'd reached a place where I suppose I was at rock bottom, and I had to decide, do I fight or do I give up? And I decided to fight. And through that, I found the strongest version of myself. And I sort of made a deal with myself that I would share that strength that I found, and that I would share my story, and that I would love for other people to also understand how strong they can be. And I suppose, that the long story is that's what brought me here. And the short story is that I was invited, and I was so excited to come to Bloem because it's been a while. And it was the most amazing event with 900 ladies, the most beautiful concept, amazing organization. And I'll remember this for a long time.
Carina, you said something that struck a chord with me, and I hope with all 940 ladies today, how you deal with that monster of fear. Perhaps you can unpack that for us a little bit, how you speak to it. I love that concept.
Fear, what is it? It's an emotion, it's a feeling, but it's got an incredible physical effect. And that makes it different to many other feelings. So I suppose it's because it's designed to protect ourselves, it's designed to keep us safe, keep us alive. And therefore, when the fear response is triggered, we have anxiety and we have sweating and we stop, we freeze, which is fine, if you're about to be hit by a car, but not if you want to challenge yourself or enter a new relationship or advance in your career. And unfortunately, somehow those feelings of fear are always there. I mean, it's vulnerability, it's a fear of failure, it's a fear of embarrassment, it's what if, it's I don't want to do this, hard work, it's a pain. And for so many of us, it stops us from doing anything, or it stops us from pursuing our dreams and our passions and from growing, really. So through my journey, I suppose, I've had to learn how to deal with that because I didn't want to sit still. I wanted to keep moving. And I don't know, there wasn't a pivotal moment or an epiphany when I discovered this, but I suppose I just started communicating with that fear. When fear hits and says, you can't do this, then I say, it's scary, but why? Why can't I do this? Well, because there's sharks in the water. Okay, fine. But what if I protect myself against those sharks? What if I get 3 boats around me? What then? Okay, but you can't swim 35 kilometers. Why not? Because it's impossible. It's too far. And I go, yes, it is very far, but I can swim 10 kilometers. Maybe I can swim 20. If I can swim 20, sure, I can swim 30, and then there's just 5 left, So it's just really about debating with that voice inside you that says, no, or please don't, or you can't. Fear it's this enormous wall which we give incredible relevance in our lives, and it's good. You can't ignore it. But my message to people is it's not a wall, it's maybe a room or a transition area, and you've got the key. You can just open the door. It's just there to gather your thoughts, I suppose, and to decide, make your choice. Are you going through or not?
You have all these facets, is the word flutist? I forgot it now.
Yeah, flutist or flautist. You can use either.
There we go. You've got that aspect of the classical you, and then you have this marathon swimmer in you, and you're a mum and you're a businesswoman, and you take on all of these things. Do you feel that you do them with the same amount of passion, or where is your big passion today?
Yeah, I'm driven by something. I'm not sure yet what it is. I'm 43. I'm still finding out, but it is passion. I think anything that I take on, I do it with everything I've got. And I've realized that maybe everyone in the world isn't exactly like me. And I used to be quite disappointed, and I would take on something and come guys, let's do this team thing. And then I would be the only one who puts everything in, but that's fine. We all have our priorities. That's just how I roll. So whatever I do, I do to the fullest, and I'm passionate about it. And, it doesn't matter whether it's the smallest little thing. And through COVID, I think through my story that I told today as well, you would have heard that, we were forced to do very different things than we were trained for. Like I've 20 years built up a music career that took me across the world, and COVID smacked, and suddenly I had to do whatever was in front of me. And that was hard. But once I found a way to do it with all I've got, with the full passion that I like to put into whatever I do, it became incredibly meaningful. So to answer your question, I suppose my passion is with whatever I'm doing, because that's my choice. I don't want to just sort of cruise through life. I want to show up, and I want to be fast, and I want to move. Yeah.
When you play the flute, you explain that it obviously took years of time and perfection, and just also again a passion. How often do you still train and practice? And also with that, swimming. I mean, you don't just jump in and you can swim.
Yeah.
How does your schedule work between flute and swimming?
Well, should I be honest? I don't practice that much flute anymore. I will say that, I think the 20 years of perfecting that instrument, the muscle memory is quite an amazing thing. So I can pick up that flute and sort of do pretty much anything, I feel. When there's new music to learn or a new style that I want to pursue, then yes, I go into it, and my head is into it, and I sort of obsess about it until I get it, and then I move on to something else. So yeah, that's that. And the flute will always be there. And sometimes I take breaks. And during COVID, it was incredibly traumatic to not be able to make music, and I made an emotional break from it. So for a long time, I didn't really play, and it's fine. And whenever I hear music or I play it, I'm back full in, But swimming, on the other hand, I swim 5 kilometers every day. It's my mantra. It's my meditation. It's my reset that I need every day. I don't feel I'm a very nice person when I don't do it. So it keeps me going. It keeps me fit. I feel, at my age, I'm at a peak fitness, which is quite a blessing, I have to say. I'm feeling faster in the water, better in the water than I did 20 years ago. I'm sort of beating like really young people in races and stuff, not to be arrogant, but it feels fantastic. So I really am so grateful for that physical strength and just health, and I'll never, ever, ever take it for granted. And I'd love to encourage whoever, whether you are 100 kilograms overweight or you just want to find something that sort of settles your mind, it is just the answer, again, through trials and turbulations that I had to go through for the past couple of years or whatever. I could not have managed if I didn't have my swimming. Some mornings I would wake up and go, I can't do this. I cannot do this anymore. And I would go for a swim, and I would come back with renewed vigor and courage. So I will never, ever, ever give that up. I try not to miss a day. I have to force myself to take one day off every week, or maybe every 10 days or so.
It's our Be Better podcast, and we've got Carina Bruwer joining us today, inspiring us in each aspect of our lives. And I really love the fact that you said about being present and not wanting to miss out on the aspects of your life that you are focused on right now. And that is very valuable, because often we go through situations, if it's not important to you, kind of just passes over, but might be important to the other person that you are having the conversation with or that you're engaging with. And I think that is something truly remarkable. So please hold on to that absolute passion for being present and for sparking joy, because today it was so surprising, every aspect of how you told your story. And as a motivational speaker, I think you are going to go really far. It's incredible to hear your story and just the way you present it. It doesn't have that arrogance of, look at me, I'm this amazing person. You also spoke about, I didn't reach the shore. I didn't get the job. And those are the things that we want to steer clear from. Most people don't want to talk about that. And you decided you're going to jump in and talk about it. And I think that is what made today so incredibly special, and the way that you merged all of these wonderful talents that you have. So today we wish you that you have many more talents to discover, because I understand that you like a new challenge and learning new things. Perhaps as we end off, you can tell us a little bit about being Carlos Santana, because I love that. I love it.
Yeah, I think I've got a bit of an unhealthy crush, right? So I was a classically trained flautist, of course, which means you read what's in front of you. You do not improvise. I was actually told at university that pop music is not an art. So when I first heard the electric guitar, I think I was about 21, and I didn't recognize what it was. I'd never heard that sound, and I couldn't stop listening to it. I was just so intrigued by it, and it literally was the sound of my heart. And I realized I'm not actually a flautist. I'm not a classical flautist, that's for sure. I'm this. This is the sound that I want to create. I want to be this. But unfortunately, I'd spent my whole life perfecting this instrument, and I was bloody good at it, and I wasn't good at anything else. And anyway, long story short, it took me a while of resistance and just sort of having to be courageous and take my flute and do something on it that I have no idea how to do. And it was horrible, because I just didn't know what I was playing. I just couldn't figure out how to play this music, but I needed it so badly. And until the moment where I actually just stopped caring, and I stopped believing that I didn't know, and I stopped looking for the sheet music, and I just started listening, and I suppose I just went into a trance, and suddenly I was playing this music, and I was playing it, and it didn't sound like a flute, it sounded like the electric guitar, and I became Carlos Santana. And I'm Carlos Santana until this day. I really am. I'm so inspired by him. I think he's quite the performer. He's an amazing improviser. He makes the most passionate, beautiful sound on his guitar. But yeah, it's a combination of just this sort of bit of a cheeky kind of performance. He's a bit tongue-in-cheek as well, with the music that he does. And I just related so much. And if I have a dream... Am I going to say it out loud?
Please do.
Can I?
Because that's how our dreams become real.
Oh my gosh. I made them do it. I'm going to do it too. I would love to play with Carlos one day.
Yes. Let's put that into the world.
Hello. I don't know if he's dreaming of playing with a classical flautist who believes she's this pop star. But yeah, I'm ready.
We are taking that and putting it into the universe. Carina Bruwer joins us today on this Be Better podcast. I'm Yolanda Martins, and this is an initiative of the University of the Free State's Organisational Development and Employee Wellbeing Division. Carina, please stay as magical and wonderful as you are. And thank you for your time today, and for inspiring all the ladies that attended, and for inspiring our people joining us on the podcast as well.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity to do that. That's really what gives me most purpose in my life, is to make some form of shift, which I hope to do.
Carina inspires us today to be better.